He'll have surgery. He's out at least 4 games, is expected to return later this season. Bosa is one of several injured players for LA. As of now, the Buccaneers are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game needs to be moved because of Hurricane Ian, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. A positive development on the field, meantime, for quarterback Tom Brady. Receiver reinforcements for this week, explains ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin.
Mike Evans, he gets back. Julio Jones, Todd Bowles had said that he could have played with the knee injury, but they decided to hold him out. So you anticipate he's on track to play. Now, Chris Godwin, that's the big piece, and that's the one that's most unclear right now. He's missed significant time, came back, and now he's sort of, got to get back.
Kimberly Martin on Get Up. Evans returning after his 1-game suspension. Godwin is dealing with a hamstring injury. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson medically cleared from his knee injury, and he will start Sunday against the Steelers. The injury sidelined him the first 3 games of the season.
As the leaves change, leave the hiring to Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Garrett Dellinger has a broken hand.
Hump day.
Jameis has a broken back.
It's hump day.
Is Taysom Hill going to play quarterback?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
As a matter of fact, Muse, please kill the music. Please kill the music, Muse. Oh, kill the music. Kill it. Something more appropriate today, if you would, please. As today, the New Orleans Saints continue their trek across the ocean. Well, they've actually trekked, have they not? They have trekked, yes? They've trekked.
Yeah, they've trekked. They're
Thank
there.
you. They've trekked.
They got there Monday.
They did trek. Their sojourn is complete to jolly London town. They have been dining on tea and crumpets, fish and chips. What else do they eat there? Fish.
I think that's it. Mash. Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. They have dined with the Queen. Okay, not so. No,
Well,
no, not with her. Never mind. They've met the hand of the King, His Highness King Charles. They have they've changed the guard.
Had a pint?
They've had a pint or two. I know Graff's had a pint.
Oh.
That is a thing that I guarantee you that has happened. They've gone to Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And the place where Jimi Hendrix OD'd.
Man.
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
They have seen Big
The
Ben.
London
They
Eye.
have, yes. The Brooklyn Bridge.
No.
No, London Bridge.
Hey.
That's the one.
Didn't it fall down?
No, that's just a song.
Oh.
Just a song. Let us go to jolly London town and say cheerio to Todd Graffagnini, who is there. No, wait, crank that up first, Muse. Please, crank up Rule Britannia. Such a majestic, triumphant tune, isn't it? I do like Rule Britannia. I kind of imagine that in London, this is everybody's ringtone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Car horn. Just blow
Yes.
the horn. It's Rule
Yes,
Britannia.
car horns are Rule Britannia. When horses neigh, they actually neigh to the tune of Rule Britannia. Todd Graffagnini who is the radio voice of the Pels, but double dipping here, working with the Saints this season, is good enough to join us from jolly London town. Graff, how are you?
I'm good, Matt. I always look forward to the chili peppers on Wednesday, but I guess the British theme was apropos considering that I am here.
Yes.
And I already have been to many of the places you just referenced, including doing the walk across the zebra crosswalk at Abbey Road.
Love to hear it.
Which I did on Tuesday. I did not take my shoes off like Paul McCartney or wear a black suit. But, yes, Abbey Road. I've done Elizabeth Tower, which is now Big Ben. Big Ben is the bell. That's what you got to understand that. Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben is the bell that rings.
Yes.
What
about where Jimi Hendrix? What about where Jimi Hendrix?
No, I haven't done that one.
Okay.
No.
What about Austin Powers? Where Austin Powers went?
Done that.
Okay, no.
Too soon for Queen references, though. Too soon.
When she's 96, I don't think it's too soon. I'm going to push back on that.
I'm telling you, these people are still in shock.
That's. She's gone way too soon. It was 96.
I'm just telling you, the boots on the ground here. It's too soon.
Well, guess what? I'm literally an ocean away. I'll make a Queen joke. She lived a wonderful life. She was 96.
Yes.
It's time. It was time, and it was okay. We can celebrate her life, and that's. It's not a mourning her passing. It's a celebrating her life, and that's all fine and good. Okay, Graff. So.
Yes.
Let's get into what has to be just the most gigantic story of this whole thing, which is no Jameis Winston today and Taysom Hill taking reps at quarterback. So let's start with Jameis and not being there today. Go ahead and give me your take on what you could tell us.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to bury the lead here, but obviously when you walk into practice and we get to watch about 15 to 20 minutes. First thing you do when you walk into practice, as you have done many times, is see who is there. Well, you see the two red jerseys. Well, Jameis was not one of them. So we walk in during stretching. Well, the thing about last Wednesday, a week ago before the Carolina game, Jameis was present at practice, but did not do anything in that practice, but he was physically there. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you notice that he was not physically there. Now, you must understand, the practice facility, which is the Irish London Rugby Football Club, that's where the Saints practice, is about 20 minutes from the hotel that they're staying at. So you can understand if Jameis wasn't going to practice, why he wouldn't be there. Of course, when you're at the Saints facility, the training room is just inside the building, so he doesn't have far to go. So why make the trip over there if he's not going to practice in the first place? So that's the first thing. So you watch stretching and, you don't think anything of it other than he's not physically there. Well, then you see the walkthrough portion of practice. And, yes, there's Andy Dalton taking first-team reps. And there's Taysom Hill, who, remind you, was inactive for the Carolina Panthers, wearing a white jersey, not a red jersey, taking snaps at center as a quarterback. And look, I have been to literally every practice since July 27th. It was pretty obvious that he had taken snaps out of the media's viewing at quarterback, because we have seen him take snaps at quarterback, especially in the Atlanta Falcons game when the Saints scored the first touchdown of the season. The media has not seen one rep of Taysom Hill at quarterback since training camp began. And if you could have seen the expression on everybody's faces, especially the people who have been there since day one, they're like, well, wait a second. And of course, you can't say anything on social media, Matt, until practice is officially over. So, I mean, everyone who was there has been covering the team for this long. Were literally shaking. They wanted to tweet so badly and just couldn't do it. I mean, it was like convulsions. So, like, everybody's tweets were already drafted, and then boom, at 2:45 when everybody got the go-ahead that the Saints had finished, boom. So everyone had been sitting on that for 2 hours. But that was, without question, the storyline today, because we just have not seen it.
Yeah.
And he was not running Wildcat. He was throwing the football. So, and we heard from Dennis Allen after that this had been kind of the plan all along. And you think about why he was inactive last week. Was he healthy enough to go? Maybe. But if they knew that he was possibly going to play quarterback at next week, maybe because of Jameis's health, did they hold Taysom Hill out because he might be playing quarterback in the very near future? It's just a lot of things were going through a lot of people's minds today.
Is it plausible to think, all right, Jameis is still going to go, Dalton's still the backup, but in the event that they need an emergency quarterback, if Jameis has a setback, that Taysom would be Dalton's backup, so that's why they're just getting him reps now?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, again, it was out there for the world to see. I mean, they hit him when you can't watch practice. He was taking snaps. We just didn't know it, but he was taking snaps today. So I don't think there's any question that they're preparing him to play in case. And again, remember, Jameis did not participate in practice last Wednesday, and they worked him into it. So, by all accounts, according to Dennis Allen today, according to Jameis Winston, who, and credit to him, he was not happy that he did not practice today. He was held out. I mean, the Saints are trying to give him as much rest as possible, but they worked him into it. And obviously he played the entire game on Sunday. So is that going to be the case this week? We'll see. And especially, when we walk in there tomorrow, what's the first thing people are going to look? Is Jameis here or not? We're going to find out.
I would suspect he will be, right? I mean, that's what they've done so far. Is they've given him a rest day on Wednesday and then allowed him to go limited Thursday and Friday. I want to get into some of the other on-field things here in a moment, but Graff, I could take a minute because the team left straight from Carolina to go to London, so it's been 3 days now. What have these 3 days been like for the team and the whole traveling contingent there?
Yeah, I look, and full disclosure, I left a few hours after the team did. So the team got in at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. I left with a couple of my colleagues later that night from Charlotte. So our flight was delayed. Obviously, the charter flight was not. The team got in at 7. We got in at about 12:15. The downside of traveling commercially, Matt. But look, it took me, again, just me personally. I crashed and burned Monday night just because. I mean, you're 6 hours ahead of where you would normally be. So they kind of experienced the same things. But, we heard from a few of the players today that, Will Lutz went to the UEFA friendlies and watched England and Germany in Wembley. He went and watched a soccer match on Monday night. And Eric McCoy and James Hurst took their wives out to a town next to where they're staying and kind of had a night out. And Mark Davenport said that he walked to town on Monday. So the first couple of days you got to adjust. I mean, me personally right now, I'm pretty much back to where I need to be. So, and again, I'm not a world-class athlete. I would think everything's okay now. And again, look, you're in the week, so the routine's going up. And there have been many theories on do you stay the week. And look, the Vikings are leaving tomorrow night. They're on a very short type of schedule. But the theories are each way. The Saints have been there. This is the third time they've been here. The first 2 times they've been here the entire week, they've won both games. I read an article today, one of the Vikings higher-ups who made the decision to come for the Vikings to leave late, said he's done it 4 times. 2 times the team he was involved in stayed the whole week, and 2 times he went and it was short, like the Vikings are doing. He said absolutely going there for the less amount of days is the way to go. So the theories are, I think, me personally, I think that the Saints are doing this because, A, it's been successful for them in the past. And Dennis Allen was obviously here in 2017, the last time the Saints were here. And remember, the Saints pitched a shutout against the Miami Dolphins that morning.
Yeah.
Morning back in New Orleans. And I think a lot of it, too, is Dennis Allen loves to be just strictly football. Where they're staying right now, they're pretty much sequestered. I mean, there's not a whole lot that they're able to do at the hotel that they're staying at. And I think Dennis Allen loves that. Just they're around each other. Now that, the Monday and Tuesday, you're off on Tuesday, and now that they're into the rest of the work week, they're not going to be doing a whole lot except, studying football and getting ready for this game on Sunday.
Yeah. Graff, back on the field, the injury report is already out today. It is extensive. There are 9 players on it. I mean, it is just this looks like a banged up team for a team that, seemingly largely avoided a lot of that in the preseason. It's kind of coming to roost again. What else seems significant to keep an eye on before Sunday morning's game?
Well, here's the other storyline to me, Matt. Michael Thomas was not there today, and Jarvis Landry was present but was working on the side. If those two guys can't go, who steps up in their presence? Now, in their absence, I should say. Chris Olave has been fantastic, but here's the thing. Chris Olave is wide receiver 3. So Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are 1 and 2. Well, how does Chris Olave make the adjustment if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry don't play? Because now he becomes the go-to guy. Now you think about it, Jameis has really, really gone to Olave now, 26 targets in the last 2 games. So there's something that Jameis really feels comfortable with as far as Chris Olave goes. But he hasn't been double-teamed in the first 3 games. If those 2 guys don't play, well, then if I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator, I'm saying don't let 12 beat us. Let's see what the other guys can do. Now, I know you're going to chuckle, but it was actually good to see Traquan Smith back out there today because you didn't know after he slammed his head on the turf in Carolina if he was going to play this week. Traquan Smith had over 100 yards receiving against the Panthers. And here's another thing, too. Deontay Hardy, who was inactive against Carolina, was back on the practice field today, too. So if Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry don't go, you're going to have those guys step up because obviously, I mean, the troubles on offense have been well documented. Now, I just think it is such a self-inflicted wounds type of deal. And the ironic thing is, Matt, you could say that the running backs, which, you've got Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, those 2 guys have committed the biggest turnovers of the season so far. The Ingram fumble against Tampa. And, I mean, I know you went far and wide about what happened on Sunday, but I was there, Matt. That crowd was this close, and I'm holding my thumb and index finger that you could put an index card in between them. They were ready to turn on their own team, and then, boom, Alvin Kamara fumbled. They ran it back in for a touchdown, and it completely flipped the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no doubt. That was just the missed field goal, the blocked field goal. I mean, just changed the whole game. Man, it feels super urgent for this team. Graff, we're running a little short on time here, man. But
yep.
I want to give a shout out to a young Graff who's back home on a birthday today.
Yeah, my son Jack turned 6 today.
Hey.
Hey, look, I know it's what you sign up for. That's the job, and I'm not home, but I know they're in the car right now. So happy birthday, Jack. Love you. I miss you. And Daddy will be home in 7 days because, Matt, I'm off to Chicago after the Saints game because the Pelicans preseason game is next Tuesday. So, yes. No rest for the weary.
Right. Your life is basically over till June.
Yes, it is, but I enjoy it. That's what I do, Matt. That's what I do.
No doubt, man. Graff, we appreciate the time, man. Safe travels. We'll visit again soon, all right?
Cheerio.
All right, that's Graff. We went super long. We're brought to you by Shoots Electric, CESofLA.com, CESofLA.com. Get that whole home generator. Unfortunately, a lot of people in Florida right now are getting hit by Hurricane Ian. And look, we dealt with Ida a year ago, and you deal with storms, you deal with power outages. But when the power goes out, my Generac from Shoots Electric, make sure my whole home is powered. Shoots Electric, CESofLA.com. It is affordable. Financing is available. You can request an estimate, and Shoots is amazing to work with. And they have generators in stock. It's not call now for an install 6 months from now. It's call now and get an install scheduled as soon as they get the permits. CESofLA.com for Shoots Electric. Okay, we went long. Quick break. Come back. I want to talk about Garrett Dellinger. He's likely going to miss the Auburn game on Saturday with a broken hand. We'll get to it next. AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A trivia night, of course, at Pluckers, both locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. 7:30 on Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock on Nicholson. We'll have some fun with some Pluckers trivia coming up in hour number 3. Brian Kelly was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday and shared some disappointing news. Looks like LSU is going to be down a starting offensive lineman when they head to the Plains against Auburn. Apparently, Garrett Dellinger broke his hand in the game against New Mexico. Here was Brian Kelly giving an update on Wednesday morning.
He had surgery yesterday, and it appears as though it's going to be tight for him to make the game. You know, at first thought we thought we could get him ready, but there was a screw and a plate that needed to go in there. So right now, as we're talking, I would say he's doubtful for Saturday.
So doubtful, kind of incredible that you'd even have an offensive lineman with a broken hand be able to play possibly on such a quick turnaround. But what they would likely do is just, you've seen guys before put the club on their hand and play with that, which is certainly possible if there's a hard cast and it's not comfortable but doable. How effective can you be? Well, one thing's for sure, you're not going to get called for holding. But see if Garrett Dellinger, if he doesn't play this week, if he'd be available for Tennessee. So the question becomes then, how do you replace him? And the answer is pretty obvious, but here was Brian Kelly with the follow-up on Wednesday.
What would y'all be doing at left guard then, you think? Who would be in the mix at that spot?
Yeah, so the natural progression for us would be to move Miles Frazier over to left guard.
So Frazier, remember, started the Florida State game at left guard. So he was a guy that transferred in from FIU, was a freshman All-America tackle at FIU, came into LSU. They played him at left guard in the opener when Dellinger played at center, and then they kind of had the shuffle. They wanted to solidify center, so they put Turner there and moved Dellinger to guard. So Frazier, I don't think there's any question, is a better tackle than he is a guard, but Emory Jones has been better at tackle than has Miles Frazier, which is why Emory Jones is starting there at right tackle instead of Frazier. But you have a veteran guy, an experienced guy, I should say, in Miles Frazier, who has started a game at left guard, and so you slide him back in there, and that makes the most sense. Offensive line is it is the most oft-injured unit on any football team. Just the physicality, you're playing in a phone booth, guys get rolled on, it's just a physical position. You lose linemen. And so you have to have depth. It almost goes without saying, but we'll say it for the benefit of this segment. You have to have depth. The problem LSU has right now is, and we talked about this all throughout fall camp, because they were rotating so many guys as they were trying to solidify a rotation. And you have a lot of guys that have played. If you remember, went through this. They had 10 guys in this offensive line group, 10 guys coming into the season who had started a game at the college level. But you still had so much uncertainty about who was going to win jobs where, because even though guys had started, they hadn't played particularly well. That's before Will Campbell and Emory Jones got their first starts this year. So actually that number's higher now. If you want a positive of the Dellinger injury, I've got two for you. And one of them may sound cynical, but I don't intend it to be. And it's that LSU's offensive line isn't really that great to begin with. I think we could all agree on that. That is a weakness on this team. So I think it would be more difficult if you were losing a key player at a position of strength. For example, losing Mason Smith. We looked at LSU's defensive line as maybe the best unit on the team, certainly the best unit on the defense. You lose Mason Smith, who is your best player on the best unit. That hurts. Now, Mekhi Wingo has played exceptionally well. He's answered that call, which has been a godsend for this defense, especially on the interior. If you have a really good quarterback, obviously, and he is injured and you have to replace him, that is a step back. That is not a good thing. This is a unit that was already struggling to find itself a little bit, so if you're already kind of a weak point, are we really going to have a noticeable difference? Will we see a noticeable difference with Dellinger to Frazier at left guard? Probably not, quite honestly. The other thing is LSU does have depth at guard. They've struggled at tackle. That's why you're playing two freshmen there. But Tremont Shorts has been a guard. Miles Frazier has started the first game at left guard for you. You've got Xavier Hill back now. You got bodies at guard that can play. The real negative of this is not necessarily your first five, but it's what do you do at center if something happens to Charles Turner? Y'all, when you get on bended knee tonight, pray for world peace. Pray for all the people in the state of Florida who are taking on the brunt of Hurricane Ian right now, which is so sad to see. Pray for health and happiness and all that good stuff. And pray for Charles Turner. Pray for him to stay healthy this week. Because after Charles Turner, I literally today don't even know who they would put in at center if something happened to Charles Turner. I have no idea. Remember back in the spring when Brian Kelly told us Brad Davis was cross-training 5 different players at center because they didn't feel like they were solidified there. You had Turner, and they were working a lot of other guys there. Ultimately, Dellinger started the first game there. Fitzgerald West, you recruited as a defensive lineman to play center. He played defensive line in high school, but you recruited him as a center. But that's a true freshman who's never played the position. So what do you do? I mean, seriously, I literally don't even know what they would do if Dellinger's not available. If something happened to Turner, what would you do at center? So that's a gigantic question. So they've got to keep Charles Turner healthy this week. Specifically for Saturday, though, LSU's offensive line, like we've talked about, has been a weak point on this team. They're not. It's not a great unit. We understand that. Every team has strengths and weaknesses. LSU's defense has been really good. The defensive line, LSU's receivers are really good. The offensive line is not a position of strength. I think it will be in time. I think when you have, Garrett Dellinger and Will Campbell and Emory Jones all as upperclassmen, now I think you're cooking. You got something going there. And maybe later in the season, those 2 young tackles will come into their own and become better and better and better as the season goes along. But right now, that's not a strong point. But Auburn's defensive front isn't either. This isn't that great Auburn defensive line a couple of years ago in 2019 when you had Derek Brown and Big Cat Bryant and all those guys. Like, this ain't that unit, man. Derek Hall won the SEC Defensive Player of the Year award. He's a really good rush end, and that's someone you're going to have to count for, obviously. But man, they allowed 74 rush yards to Mercer, 54 to San Jose State. So looked really good. But then they went up against Penn State and allowed 245 rush yards, 6.3 yards per carry. Penn State had their way at the line of scrimmage. And last week, Missouri ran for 133. I know LSU's run game, and look, no Dellinger. We haven't gotten an update on Armani Goodwin, if he's going to be available, and it certainly didn't look good on Saturday with the injury against New Mexico. But if you're down a starting offensive lineman and your number one running back so far, that certainly doesn't help. But I've told you this already when they played Florida State, when they played Mississippi State. I'm going to say it again. Jaden Daniels is going to be your leading rusher again. How much ground is there to gain running the football for this LSU team? That's going to be really one of the stories within this game to watch as it unfolds, to see if LSU is able to gain some traction running the football. But, it stinks not to have Garrett Dellinger. It stinks to be down a player on the offensive line. We're already not great there. But I don't know how good they were going to be there anyway. The key to this game is going to be LSU's defense putting Auburn in a 3-hour chokehold and limiting their scoring opportunities, and the offense protecting the football. Don't make that Auburn offense drive the length of the field, because I don't know that they can consistently. So protect the football, go in there, play good defense. You should be able to get out with a win, even without Garrett Dellinger, and we'll get an update on his status when they play Tennessee. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. That's mold-0usa.com. This is a patented dry fog, non-toxic dry fog, I should point out, process. It is so easy. They service the entire greater New Orleans area, the entire greater Baton Rouge area. So go to the website. You can see the number at the top of the page for either Baton Rouge or New Orleans, whichever you're looking for. This kills mold. It removes odors, whether it's your home, your office, your place of business. It's easy. Call Jim and the gang over at Mold Zero. They'll always give you a free estimate, what it'll take. And listen, it's minimally invasive. I mean, you really only have to be out of your home for a couple hours while it dries. You'll get to every nook and cranny of your home to make sure you eliminate mold and odor. And this is, you're talking 0 to minimal possible demo as well. You're not cutting sheetrock. I mean, you can have it eliminate mold, eliminate odor, and do so in as easy a process as possible. It's Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Check them out for Mold Zero. All right, it's after further review. We are going to head back to London in a little more than half an hour. In hour number 2, we're going to talk to Tatum Everett, who works for Vikings.com, LSU alum Tatum Everett, who works for Vikings.com, to see how the Minnesota Vikings are preparing, getting ready for this week in against the Saints in London. We'll not get a quick break, go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro coming up here as well. I got to move quickly. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James & Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. That's agent225.com. By now, you know Darren James, nobody works harder to get your home sold faster for more money, and nobody has more creative marketing strategies to get your home sold faster for more money, like Darren's latest marketing program, which is the Buy One, List One Free program. It is easy. It is exactly what it says. Hire Darren James to represent you on the purchase of your new home, and he will list your home for free. So if you're someone selling a home thinking, man, got to sell my home, I want to hire a realtor, I want to hire a good realtor, I just can't afford to pay a commission. Problem solved. Call Darren James. Again, maybe your family's growing and you need more home. Hire Darren. Let him represent you on the purchase of your new home. He will list your home for free. 335-7666 or online at agent225.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you. Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today.
of this life I cannot change. In the hills, deep off in the main.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, by the way, the Chiefs-Bucks game will go to Minneapolis if it has to relocate. That is not confirmed, but there was a report yesterday that the Superdome was being considered as one option. That's Sunday Night Football in Tampa, Chiefs at Bucks. But because of Hurricane Ian, there's the possibility that that game may have to move. If they do, again, they'll go to Minneapolis. The Vikings, of course, are headed to London to take on the Saints. All right, it's after further review. We're going to get to Taylor Calandro here shortly. Right now, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
Brian Harsin gave an update on a couple of injured players in advance of the LSU game. Quarterback TJ Finley and cornerback Donovan Kaufman. Both are day-to-day, approaching Saturday's game against LSU. Finley was injured against Penn State and was benched in the second half after a strip sack on a fumble. And Harsin said he is open to continuing the rotation at quarterback if Finley's ready to go. Robbie Ashford, who injured his shoulder trying to block for receiver Coy Moore in the third quarter, should be good to go. Kaufman is a Vanderbilt transfer. He's a Louisiana native who looks like he's going to be healthy enough to go against LSU.
The Florida Gators.
With Hurricane Ian making its way onto land, Florida, by now, they've postponed Saturday's noon Eastern game against Eastern Washington by 24 hours. They'll play it on Sunday. Billy Napier has said there's been really no disruption, so they'll continue to prepare business as usual in their indoor facility. Napier estimated a double-digit number of Florida players have families residing in the coastal areas where the impact of Hurricane Ian is expected to be considerable. Something that, of course, we all know too well, but best wishes to all the families involved there in the path of Hurricane Ian.
The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden III. He's questionable for Saturday's game against number 1 Georgia with an undisclosed injury. Burden suffered the injury in Mizzou's second series of the overtime loss against Auburn. He's a 5-star prospect from St. Louis. He's the leading receiver on the team right now. Also, right tackle Zeke Powell has suffered a season-ending injury, and linebacker Chad Bailey questionable for the game against Georgia. Had his arm in a sling after the game against Auburn. Bulldogs 28-point favorites against Mizzou.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
And Ole Miss is partnering with Hattori Racing Enterprises. Hattori Racing Enterprises? I'm not really sure how to say it, but the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver, Chase Purdy, is going to don the colors of his alma mater at Talladega Superspeedway on Saturday. 22-year-old Mississippi native, Paulie, pull this up, please, if you would. Mississippi, he attended Ole Miss for 3 years before restarting his racing career in the Camping World Trucks competition in 2020. So Purdy's number 61 truck will showcase the trademark powder and navy blue in advance of the Rebs game against Kentucky this coming weekend. Of course, number 11 Ole Miss hosts number 7 Kentucky on ESPN for an 11 a.m. kick. And then at Talladega Superspeedway, you can see a truck with the Ole Miss logo there. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com. The official office equipment provider of LSU Athletics, 20 years as an official partner of LSU Athletics, 45 years in business. That's Gulf Coast Office Products. If your business needs office equipment, Gulf Coast Office Products can help. They can service you same day, worst case scenario, 10 a.m. the next day. That's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. Okay, y'all, going to knock out a quick break. Come back, a little Bourbon Dictionary on a Whiskey Wednesday. Get your questions in for Taylor Calandro. Any of your booze questions, fire away. Happy to get them in and get them asked. Bourbon Dictionary to wrap up our number 1 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Actually, as a matter of fact, had lunch today with Matt and Paul, not Musso and O'Neill, but guys over from River City's 1 Hour Air, Rick and Ragusa. And I always love chatting with those guys. We're getting close, cooler weather in the year, getting close to being able to tell you about the heater safety check, which is coming up. Love sharing great reviews. This one from my guy Blake Linksweiler, as a matter of fact, who said, David was very personable, courteous, and professional. He did quality work and saved me money. He also brought to light some issues to keep an eye on in the future. Very pleased with my decision to use River City 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. Give River City's 1 Hour Air a call. Remember, nights, holidays, weekends, they always work overtime, and they never charge you extra to come out after hours. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. Where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge. Innovating.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Glad you're with us here. Always glad to welcome aboard our buddy Taylor Calandro to answer your booze questions. Fire away. You know how to get them in. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. How are you, dude?
Good, man. Enjoying the weather with my kid right now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Nice day.
It is beautiful, dude. It's beautiful outside. And whenever the weather gets nicer is when it becomes brown water season. Candidly, dude, I don't drink a lot of whiskey during the summer, really hardly any at all. But when the weather starts getting nicer, this is the time. So what's new?
And I'm with you on that. I hardly ever drink any whiskey when it's hot outside, but the last couple days have been nice. What's new? We got an Oak and Eden half barrel pick. If people aren't familiar with Oak and Eden, it's the bottle that comes with a little spire in the bottle. I think it's a little gimmicky, but is what it is.
Right.
The one we did was a 4-grain. The liquid's 4-grain, and it's finished in Amburana, which is like a Brazilian wood. It's spicy like rye. It's very cinnamony. It's spicy. It's totally off the beaten path of a regular bourbon. So that's $64.99. And we also got a Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit, and
nice.
It's not a normal Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. It was a Kentucky Spirit barrel done by Eddie Russell, one of the master distillers and owners of Wild Turkey. And I got to try it yesterday. It is phenomenal. It's the same price as a regular Kentucky Spirit. We have it on the shelf right now. It's great.
Very cool. All right, let's get to your questions. You know the drill. Fire away. Email, tweet, jump in the Byford YouTube chat, or text in the 225-396-4400. 396-4400. Here's one from a loyal duet who said, which bourbon do you prefer between Russell Single Barrel or Rare Breed?
I love Russell's. I'm a big Russell's guy. Rare Breed's great too. It's also Wild Turkey, and that's funny. I just plugged Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit. I prefer Russell's. I think they're both good, but I prefer Russell's.
All right, Nathan Ledford said, hey, Taylor, good bourbon options for a newbie, good on the rocks or a neat, and available in South Florida where I live or most anywhere.
So I suggest it all the time. Basil Hayden is a really good beginner bourbon. Lower proof, lots of flavor. If you want to go for something else, like an Elijah Craig small batch, 94 proof, really approachable, really a great value for what you get. So either one of those will work, and those are readily available.
Yeah, that Elijah Craig small batch will run you about $25-$27 somewhere in there, and it's gonna pack a little more punch than the Basil Hayden. But yeah, both are great options.
Yep.
David Benoit, what's your favorite whiskey for under $50?
My favorite whiskey for under $50. Knob Creek store picks. You can find Knob Creek store picks. Those are floating right around $50. I always talk about Knob Creek store picks. Elijah Craig small batch, like I just mentioned, that's a very inexpensive bottle. $17.92 is good for $35-ish. Any one of those.
Yeah, $17.92 has a lot of different releases as well. I think the $17.92 bottled in bond might be my favorite of all of them. It's got like the yellow label on the neck. Are there any $17.92s that you like? Because, for example, like I don't really particularly love the full proof. Shocker, I know, but
it's funny you say that because we're getting a foolproof barrel in the next few months.
I will not buy one, but
I love Sweet Wheat. I love the 12-year.
Well, Sweet Wheat and 12-year you just can't find readily. That's the difference.
No. Sweet Wheat, out of all of them, is probably my favorite. It is absolutely fantastic, and it's probably the hardest one to find of all.
Greg Lehman, I asked Taylor, what is his preferred hurricane party, cocktail or frozen drink?
Oh, man, I'm a big frozen drink guy all day, especially if it's hot outside. If frozen drinks, go with it.
Well, what is your what is your frozen drink go to?
You can't beat a really good margarita. I mean,
I can agree.
I could mention a few places, but
you can. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, so like Superior has great margaritas.
Yeah,
they're super, 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 super strong. They're kind of pricey, but they're worth it. It's the best margarita I've ever had anywhere. So.
Glenn Reese, who by the way is poor Glenn. What do you prefer, Blanton's or Eagle Rare?
Eagle Rare all day, every day. And speaking of Blanton's, and the reason I prefer Eagle Rare, it's a 10-year-old whiskey, and I think it's got more flavor, packs a bigger punch than Blanton's does. It's a little higher proof as well. Blanton's is the break-even bottle that I'll have a twist tonight, just for anybody that's interested.
It is, in fact. That is a $6 pour of Blanton's tonight. If you want to come try it, we'll be there, T-Bob and I, starting at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8 for scone and tea. Let's see. Let me see. We got about a minute left. Oh wait, real quick. Do you have the stuff to plug your nephew's stuff that stepped on last week?
I don't have it in front of me, but just go to Facebook, Saints Malbro, Malbrough, I think is what it is. And they have all of the information on that website. I think it's like November 3rd, so we still got time.
Okay, we'll make sure we pull it.
November 7th, something like that. But Saints Malbro.
All right, let's see one more. Brandon Frederick, what's the word on the new kosher Buffalo Trace? Will it be difficult to find as all the others?
Yes.
Okay.
I have never seen a kosher Buffalo Trace come into the state of Louisiana. Not saying they have, but if they have, they stay in New Orleans. So,
I got 3 seconds. I got to go. Thanks, dude.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows. I got to teach him about hard breaks. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, ReliefWindows.com. That's energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Get to the website or just go by their beautiful showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline into Prairieville, you cross Highway 42, the light at Highway 42. You keep going south, a few hundred yards, and it's on the right. It's the Relief Windows showroom. Just walk in any weekday, 9 to 5. They're open. They'll always have a consultant there. Whatever you're looking for, maybe you're building a home, you need to put in new windows, or you're renovating, you want to look at hardy plank or vinyl siding, comes finished in whatever color that you want, and they've got all the samples there on site. It's gorgeous. Go check it out, the Relief Windows showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138 for ReliefWindows.com.
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Another big injury blow for the Chargers. Pass rusher Joey Bosa will undergo surgery for a groin injury. He's on IR with a designation to return, out at least 4 weeks. Bosa is expected to be back later this season. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa with back and ankle injuries, and receiver Jalen Waddle with a groin injury, questionable tomorrow against the Bengals. The Bills adding some much-needed depth at cornerback, signing veteran Xavier Rhodes. Buffalo's secondary pretty banged up, presenting a huge challenge for a team with Super Bowl aspirations, notes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
The Buffalo Bills championship hopes have taken a bit of a hit because of some of these injuries. I mean, the secondary was one of the areas of the team that you thought was a strength. Yep. And now it feels like it's a bit of a weakness, Carlin, especially with those two young safeties, Damar Hamlin and Jaquan Johnson. They weren't up for the task on this past week against the Miami Dolphins.
Chris Canty on Greeny. As of now, the Buccaneers are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game needs to be moved due to Hurricane Ian, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. The NFL is continuing to monitor the situation.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. We'll bat to London in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk to Tatum Everett from Vikings.com. Get a look at Minnesota. And we'll also circle back to the injury report for the Saints and the Vikings, which was long and extensive for New Orleans. Now, not so much for Minnesota, as nobody was listed on today's injury report when the Saints released it. Now, that may be because the Saints released it earlier today after practice at their local time at 3 o'clock, which meant this morning in here locally. But, man, it was a long and extensive injury report for New Orleans like we rolled through. I'll do it again just quickly here for those that may have missed it in hour number 1. Players that did not practice on Wednesday. Ryan Ramczyk, Jameis Winston, Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, Andrus Peat. That's 5 players that did not practice. Those that were limited. Paulson Adebo, Alvin Kamara, Marcus Davenport, J.T. Gray, Deontay Hardy, Traquan Smith, Taysom Hill, Marcus May. That's like your whole damn team. That's 12 dudes that either were limited or did not practice. This is a team that unfortunately looks like it is being beset by injuries the way it was a season ago, which derailed the season. I hope I'm not talking out of turn, and I certainly hope that a lot of those guys are healthy enough to go and get healthier. But you can certainly look at what's happening with the Saints right now and, be really, really dismayed. If you missed it, the big story, and Todd Graffagnini was with us in hour number 1 to start the show. As we started the show, we went straight over to London to check in with Graf today at practice. And shout out, I played the video in hour number 1 without attribution. My apologies. It was New Orleans.football that had the video. If you want to go check it out on their Twitter or their site. New Orleans.football has the video of Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton taking the quarterback reps today. So this is the first time when there's been media availability that we've seen Taysom Hill playing quarterback. Now, we've seen him obviously take snaps in his Wildcat role, but this is the first time at practice that the media's seen Taysom Hill playing quarterback. So you would assume that if Jameis Winston were not able to go, Andy Dalton would start, and Taysom Hill would be the emergency quarterback should they need him. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. So again, we will go. We'll get to look at the Vikings' perspective coming up here in about 10 minutes from right now. Both Brian Kelly and Brian Harsin took their turns on the SEC coaches teleconference earlier today, previewing LSU and Auburn. For Brian Kelly, he did talk about this being their first road test headed to the Plains.
First challenge for us in the SEC as it relates to being on the road. So, playing a team with the caliber of talent that Auburn has will present a challenge in itself. But, anytime you go on the road, those challenges, being in a hostile environment for the first time, certainly will be a challenge for our team. And, just all of the logistics will be a first time for us in this team. So, the opportunity exists for us to, continue to play consistent football. We'll have to make sure that we're not distracted by travel and, obviously a very pro Jordan-Hare Stadium. But that's why you play these games in the SEC. I know our guys are excited about it. You could tell by the way we practiced yesterday. There's an anticipation of playing in these kinds of games.
Look, and I can imagine, considering how last year ended with Auburn coming back from the 2-score deficit in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix pulling off a Houdini act, and Auburn beating LSU in Tiger Stadium for the first time in 20 years. There's going to be a lot of people in purple and gold uniforms on Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium that are really looking to go make amends for what happened a year ago. Brian Harsin, of course, was on the sideline a year ago in Tiger Stadium when he witnessed that comeback of his from his quarterback, Bo Nix, who's, of course, now at Oregon. And his quarterback now is from Oregon, and Robbie Ashford. So a lot of connective tissue here with this game with LSU and Auburn. But here was Brian Harsin on the biggest differences between LSU a year ago and what they are now.
There's some differences this year, I think, scheme, offensively, defensively, and there's obviously different schemes. Really feel like this year they're on a 3-game winning streak, and Coach Kelly had talked about that. You can see the improvements in their football team in all 3 phases, and I think there's some really not significant differences from that standpoint, but just scheme-wise, they're just doing different things. I think they're utilizing their personnel well, and that's showing, in the games that they've played, the last 3 in particular. So I'm very impressed.
He didn't go, obviously, into too much details. He's not going to give away a game plan, but noting that there are differences from a year ago to what they're going to see now. And in part, one of the big matchups is going to be that Auburn offensive line against LSU's defensive front 7. Like we've talked about, Auburn is not dynamic in the passing game, but they do have the ability to run it with Jarquez Hunter and Tank Bigsby. But now without Tate Johnson, you're down to your 3rd-team center heading into this game against a really good LSU defensive front.
Anytime you're facing a good front, it's a challenge. No matter how good you are up front, with your own line and tight ends, you're going to have, for lack of a better term, a battle every single play. I mean, you got to win the one-on-ones. You've got to do your job on the double teams and take advantage of that. And you've got to be able to pass protect. So those guys make it a challenge because of what they do and who they are, and that's the thing that we have to work through this week is getting prepared for that and the speed of how they're going to play.
On paper, Auburn is balanced. They throw it for 202 yards a game. They run it for 174. But if you're actually looking at maybe a 1-game sample, with the Power 5 game that they played at home against Penn State, in that ball game, Auburn threw it for 296 and ran it for 119, but that was on 36 carries. So it was an average of just over 3 yards a carry. So if you're LSU, you would take that. Like you would love for Auburn to shorten the game by running it a lot and holding them to 3 yards a carry. One thing that clearly is going to be interesting is Robbie Ashford's ability to make plays. Now, I'm assuming – I'm sorry, Muse, can you first give this was Brian Harsin giving an update on T.J. Finley. It's number 4. Finley, he was injured in the game against Missouri and then against Penn State, and they benched him in the second half after the strip sack. He returned from the injury, was benched, then didn't play last week against Missouri. But here's the Finley update.
He was out there yesterday. I meant the day-to-day with him and all those guys. And it's always going to be that way when guys are coming back from missing a game. But we'll see how he goes today. We'll see what it looks like. And other than that, still, I think Robbie is continued to practice well. And like where Holden's at and the things he's doing.
All right, so TJ Finley on the season, of course, didn't play against Missouri, but on the season is completing 62% of his passes. In 3 games, he's thrown for 431 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. So Finley has not been good and obviously does not really present much of a running threat. The opposite is true for Robbie Ashford, who can make plays as a good athlete, was actually a 2-sport athlete at Oregon, can make plays running the football, but hasn't really been as dynamic throwing the football. So here was Brian Harsin giving sort of a thumbnail on Robbie Ashford and his development so far this year.
Well, I like his preparation. I mean, I think Robbie's shown some toughness, and that's always big for me. And I know, there's a lot that goes into that, but I think he's shown tremendous toughness. He's played extremely hard, and now the next step is just really playing the quarterback position, being able to stay in the pocket, being able to deliver the throws, and just that really comes from experience. It takes a little bit of time to figure that out and get a better feel for it. But now I think even in the last game, I thought he did some good things throwing the football better than he'd done. And there was a couple balls that, they didn't get caught, but he threw some hits and touch on him. He did some things that we see that I'm impressed with, that we've been working with him on, he's been working on. And I think every single week he's gotten better and better. So I just think, the more that he gets an opportunity, the better he's going to be.
I believe there's some truth to that. In the same way that the more Jaden Daniels continues to play at LSU, he's getting better and more comfortable. The same is true with Robbie Ashford. The difference is you're talking about a younger player who hasn't played a lot, whereas Daniels had played a lot and has been very consistent in his performance over not only his 4 games in Baton Rouge, but his 3 years prior at Arizona State. But the timing for LSU, like we talked about on Tuesday, and getting Joe Fouché back is actually very, very convenient. Joe Fouché, Major Burns has a neck injury. He's going to miss 3 to 6 weeks. And Joe Fouché is now eligible for the first time this season after having some academic issues with transfers, with credits transferring over from Arkansas. And Fouché did meet with the media on Tuesday. First of all, he talked about what it's like to actually be eligible now.
It feels great, man. The 4 weeks I was out, I was still preparing every day like a game. And now that I finally got the opportunity, to practice, prepare, and now that I get to play Saturday, I'm just ready to go.
So this is why I think it's very significant for Joe Fouché this week in particular. Joe Fouché, during his time at Arkansas, was a very good box safety. He was a very good run defender. He was a guy that wasn't afraid to come up, play in the box, and meet a running back at the line of scrimmage. He's 5'11", 208. So he's not your long, rangy, flip your hips and run type safety. He's a guy that'll come up and hit you. And look, a year ago, he had 72 tackles at Arkansas. In 2020, the COVID year where they only played 10 games, he had 60 tackles. And the year before, in 2019, he had 87 tackles. Again, this is a guy that is not afraid to come up and stick his nose in there and make tackles. This isn't just a guy who's playing the deep middle. So, in particular, in this game, when you have a running quarterback where you might need an extra man in the box who can step up and who is not afraid, who's athletic, who's not afraid to run and hit, I think Joe Fouché, he's perfect for this game in particular. Now, I don't know if Joe Fouché is going to be your best option against Tennessee with the style of offense they run. But a box safety that's willing to come up, put his nose in there, hit you, make plays in the run game, that's Joe Fouché. I mean, that's what he did for 44 games that he played at Arkansas over the last 4 seasons. So I think this is a perfect game for Joe Fouché. And Fouché did talk about defending Robbie Ashford.
He's a great quarterback. He's sitting in the pockets. He can scramble. So just the game plan we're going to have for him, it's a nice game plan. We respect his game. He can throw the ball, he can run it, he can pass, he can do it all. So, just being able to prepare for him this weekend is going to, help us out.
And as we mentioned yesterday on AFR, Joe Fouché in his previous 4 years has played Auburn 4 times, had never beaten Auburn. He's 0-4, so he's got an opportunity to win for the first time. Whoever it was that asked the question, thank you for listening to AFR and for asking Joe Fouché about having never beaten Auburn.
Definitely, I don't know if y'all probably, because I know I lost to him before. It was, with the fumble, the backwards pass thing. So, I mean, now that I'm here, it's the same, mentality that I'm going to have when we play them, go out there and get the dub, for the Tigers.
Joe Fouché, he'll be on the field for LSU this weekend. He'll wear number 13, and, man, they need him. And I think he is perfect for a game like this. He and Jay Ward together, I think, are perfect for a game like this. All right, it's after further review. When we come back, we're heading back to London. Tatum Everett, LSU alum, now works for the Minnesota Vikings, Vikings.com. She is already in London, even though the team is not. So we'll go to London and chat with Tatum Everett next on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. My goodness, how amazing is it to wake up when it's 59 degrees outside and to walk outside and have that little cold blast of air hit you in the face. It feels like fall. Now, we may heat up a little bit next week, but still, it certainly feels like fall is here, and it is time. It is time to decorate for fall. At Clegg's, they've got all your pumpkins and squash and hay bales and gourds and corn stalks and scarecrows and witches and all the stuff that you need. They got it at Clegg's Nursery. But aside from just decorating for fall, get outside and plant something, y'all. Get your hands dirty. Pull weeds out of your flower beds. Get them all cleaned up. Put down some fresh mulch. It's time. Plant your fall garden and your fruit trees. You can do it with the help of our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Also, they're stocked up for all the deer hunters. They're stocked up on Buckbuster and all the fall seed mix, Mobucks, deer feed, deer corn, rice bran. They've got it all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Who did say gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota.
Saints Vikings from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium Sunday morning there in London. Let's go to London right now and chat with Tatum Everett. Always good to get some Louisiana flavor, who is now covering the Vikings as a content manager for the Vikings in-house and is now joining us from London. Tatum, we appreciate a couple of minutes. How are you?
Cheerio from London. No, I'm good. How are you, Matt?
You're probably doing far better than all of us. Wait, so before we came on, you were telling me like you're walking to Buckingham Palace. What,
Yeah.
Like just I guess a common par for the course type day as a Vikings beat writer there. But what's the day been like? What's the day been like today and sort of the trip so far?
Yeah. We got here yesterday morning. A lot of us are here, kind of same thing the Saints are doing. We do activations around the city, but as far as content goes, we went to Sky Sports Studio. We have a friend that works there, Neil Reynolds. He's an on-air NFL Red Zone kind of guy that works for the British sports station. And so we did an interview with him. He's been to our facility. He's a good friend of the Vikings. And then today we did a behind-the-scenes tour of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was so impressive. What's really cool about it is that they can retract the grass from the soccer pitch, and then they lay down the synthetic turf to make it an NFL field. And it actually takes the field down some because a soccer pitch is actually a little bit above where a football field would be. And so that transition, we got to see a little bit of that and look at the locker rooms. They have 2 NFL-sized locker rooms that the soccer teams don't use, or the British football teams don't use. And so, it's just a really, really neat experience. The environment is beautiful. The stadium's amazing. And it's gonna, I know Saints fans, and I know Vikings fans, and it's gonna be a really, really loud experience.
What's the mood been like around London? Like, is there anticipation for the game?
Yeah, I think people are, you see Saints fans, you see some Vikings fans. I think we'll see more and more as the time goes. But around here, you see the signs, it's not as big of a, like they're thinking about their UK games on Saturday. But I do think that if you're a UK football fan of the NFL, you're definitely like looking forward to this. I know yesterday Neil Reynolds told us they just couldn't imagine having, 3 games, let alone 1 game, let alone 3 games 20 years ago.
It's technically a Saints home game there in London. It will be very interesting to see what the dynamics are inside of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday morning here Central Time. As far as the team goes, Tatum, how did it go for the Vikings? As far, of course, played the Lions on Sunday, but the travel and sort of the acclimation to the travel and the time zones.
Yeah, it's actually funny. We really haven't had a quote unquote normal week yet in the NFL. So the first week, we obviously had a long time to prepare for the Packers. Then the team had Monday Night Football, and then they had a short week before they hosted the Lions. And so now they're headed to London. So it's kind of been a learning experience for everyone. It's a brand new coaching staff, so they're trying to, make their mark on the staff, but also figure out their own schedules. And so it's actually been pretty interesting since it's been a very unique start to the season. I know the Saints are already over here, but the Vikings don't get here until Thursday after, or Friday morning. They leave Thursday night, and they'll get here Friday morning, have a couple of walkthrough practices, and then they'll be ready to go Sunday.
Okay, I didn't even realize. So the Vikings didn't. So the Saints made the decision to go immediately after the Carolina game. The Vikings aren't arriving until later in the week. Is there?
Yeah, it's funny because they actually, because they're the home team, they do have a couple more media obligations and things like that they have to do as far as when you're the home game in London. So when you're the away team, you really can kind of dictate when you want to go.
Interesting. Okay. It's good info. Tatum Everett is with us, Vikings.com. She's an LSU grad as well, so sticking with the purple and gold even in her professional life right now. I'm curious also your impressions of Kevin O'Connell. Was the OC for the Super Bowl champs a year ago, now obviously first-time head coach in Minnesota. How has that transition gone here in Minnesota?
Transition's been really good. You know, he brings a lot of positive energy. He has brought a new mindset, even a different coaching style. There is a lot of positivity, constructive teaching, collaboration, and there's not as much getting down and out. You know, like when they were so close to losing that game several times on Sunday against the Lions, and coach was just extremely proud of the guys for being able to dig deep and bring out the win, no matter that they were, you know, trailing double-digit leads twice in the game. So I think that new coaching style and that new attitude has really reflected in the players' effort. And I don't think they think they're finished yet. They don't feel like they've played their best football. We're only in week 3, so we're heading into week 4, and hopefully they'll be able to become a more complete team in the long run, I think, is obviously the end goal.
Yeah, Tatum, when we turn to looking things on the field, with the Saints, Jameis Winston's back has just been a massive storyline and will be for as long as he and the Saints are dealing with this. Minnesota looks mostly healthy so far through 3 weeks, aside from maybe the Dalvin Cook injury might be concerning. What can you tell us just about the health of the team so far through 3 weeks, and what might be sort of a question or something to watch here this week as we get closer to the game?
Yeah, I would say that team is fairly healthy. I think they've got, you know, the New Orleans native Irv Smith is back in the game. He's obviously missed last season and missed a lot of camp, but he was back for week 1, and he is continuing to be as healthy as he can be. I do think the Dalvin Cook injury is an interesting storyline to follow. Knowing Dalvin, if he can play with it, an injury like that, then he'll be in there, and I wouldn't doubt that. But if not, I think one of the more underrated depth positions that the Vikings have is in the running back room. So when Alexander Madison is used to stepping up for Dalvin when he's injured, you've got Kene Nwangwu and Ty Chandler, the rookie, back there that this coaching staff has a ton of confidence in. Another thing to watch is Harrison Smith. He did miss last game with a concussion, but the hope is he will be ready for Sunday.
Okay.
He's obviously a big veteran part, too.
For sure. A couple more for you. Justin Jefferson had the monster season opener. A little quieter the last 2 weeks. What's going on there?
Yeah. I don't think it's anything cause for concern. I think that when you have a player like Justin Jefferson, he's always going to draw the double team or the bracket coverage. And I think a lot of teams watched what happened in week 1. You know, the Eagles and the Lions were able to kind of shut that down because they know that they're going to have to put all their attention on JJ. Now, the problem with that, Matt, is that you can't leave Adam Thielen, and KJ Osborne open because they're just as dangerous, especially when they're not having, you know, Adam Thielen's wide open touchdown on Sunday and KJ Osborne's game-stealing touchdown catch. So as much as, like, people should, especially your fantasy teams, like if you got JJ, you're like, wait, what happened after week 1? But if you look at week 2 and week 3, he'll be back, especially when teams start to realize you double JJ, you're going to have to pay with Thielen and Osborne.
Yeah, this has been a matchup that has certainly favored Minnesota of late against New Orleans, and everyone sort of looks at that offense and understands what they are and what they can be. What about defensively for Minnesota? Early on so far in the season, the yardage allowed statistics look a little alarming. What have been the bugaboos defensively for Minnesota early?
I think the ability to stop the run game has been really tough for this Vikings team, but they've got some veteran guys there in the middle, and this defense is sorry, I really thought a pigeon was about to fly in my face.
That is the most London thing that could have happened.
Wow, that was really, I'm not kidding. Like, I really thought I was about to be pigeon meat. But anyway, they're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4 this season under Ed Donatel. And I think that they are just trying to figure out and communicate and play better. You know, when I talked to Dalvin Tomlinson after that Eagles loss, his main thing was we're not communicating enough, and that's why we're missing our assignments. That's why we're in the wrong gaps. That's why we're not on the same page doing our jobs. And so I think communication's been a big point of emphasis. And I think you saw that a little bit with the Lions. I mean, it's still alarming, though, that the like you said, the amount of yards this team is allowing is bad. But they also are seeing it from a glass, like, half full, where they're like, look, if we can still make the stops we need to make to win, we can work on that other stuff, knowing that that will improve in the long run.
Vikings are 2-1. Saints are 1-2. There is certainly a feel of urgency and desperation for New Orleans in this ball game to get the win. For Minnesota, Tatum, if I asked you, what's the key? What has to go well for Minnesota on Sunday to leave Tottenham Hotspur and London with a win?
I think you kind of hit it on the head. They have to be able to stop the run game. They cannot let the Saints gain a lot of ground and get momentum going or a rhythm going on offense. If they can do that and their offense has the momentum and they're able to put together a complete performance, I think that's where it lies. I think a lot of this falls back on the line play and Kirk Cousins having enough time to make sure this offense is running at full speed.
Cheerio. Fish and chips. Have a pint.
Yeah.
You going to see the King at Buckingham Palace?
Yeah, we're headed to Buckingham right now, and I think we may make a stop in Trafalgar Square and then call it a day. Jet lag is real, Matt.
That's why I'm surprised to hear that the team is leaving Minnesota on Thursday, considering the jet lag. But we'll see if it does, in fact, play a role. Tatum Everett, make sure you follow on Twitter at Tatum Everett. LSU alum working there at Vikings for the Vikings, Vikings.com. Follow all of her content there and follow her on Twitter. We appreciate it, Tatum. Enjoy the trip.
Thank you so much, Matt. Have a great day.
It is our pleasure. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Remember, they'll always treat you like family as well over at Shawbills. So schedule service online, shop tires online. It's at shawbillstire.com. You get the promotions tab at the top. You can always see all the great deals that they have, including their in-house offers along with the manufacturer's offers. So check them all out. Find how Shawbills will save you money, and if you need to book service or schedule service, you can do so on the website. There's a schedule service tab right on the homepage. Just tap that. Easy, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, in and out. 17 locations across South Louisiana. It's Shawbills Tire and shawbillstire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, we'll do overrated, underrated. So today we've had both Graff and Tatum Everett on. Saints and Vikings reporters and in-house media people who have already made the trip to London, and both of them told us jet lag is real. I mean, that's anybody who's ever traveled internationally knows that. But I am so curious about this, like why Minnesota has decided to travel on Thursday. It just part of me can understand how maybe the week would feel very long if you were there for an entire week. Like, for example, the Saints will not have been home from the time when they left New Orleans to go to Carolina until they return home after the game. I mean, they will have been gone for 10 days. So maybe that can get a little taxing, but see who acclimates better on Sunday when they play Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. Come back. Do overrated, underrated. Muse Love Tigers and the pros. Tons of LSU Auburn stuff in hour number 3. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Love telling you about the many ways that they expand healthcare in Baton Rouge. Love to tell you about all the ways that they've helped me and my family, and no doubt many of you and yours, with medical issues, problems, emergencies over the years. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. You can learn more about that online at brgeneral.org. Right on the homepage, you'll see where you can learn more about the Mayo Clinic Care Network. That allows your physician here clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. That's what it means to be part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. It's all through your local doctor, who then gets to collaborate. So essentially, you're getting world-renowned healthcare collaboration right here in Baton Rouge at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org if it's the Pennington Cancer Center, the Regional Burn Center, emergency care, or the walk-in urgent care at the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. Walk-in urgent care 7 days a week. It's all at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more online at brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shopper style.
Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along here. Glad you're with us. Hump Day at Pluckers, of course, means trivia night. So we'll do some Pluckers trivia coming up in the next hour as well. Also, Lane Kiffin channeling his inner Nick Saban. Again, we'll tell you what I mean about an hour from right now. Right now, though, let's do a little overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
What you got, Muse?
Hey, Matt, overrated or underrated? Put that down really low.
Huh?
Overrated or underrated?
Huh?
Yeah.
No, what happened? Like, don't just leave that hanging.
Well, I realized I had that down too low, the bed. When I faded the bed, I was like, I can't really hear it. Gotta get that up. Gotta get that up. Overrated or underrated? Jalapeno peppers. Still a little low.
No, it's fine. I hear it fine. It's because you have in AirPods or
these things are great.
They're earbuds. No, like they're not. That's why you wear studio headphones so you can get the whole sound experience. But both of you are wearing like the headphones that you get with a cell phone.
These are fantastic. I like them.
Sure, you can like them, but the problem you're having is a result of the headphones you're wearing, which I've told you before.
They're comfortable.
What I'm telling you is the bed is at a perfectly acceptable level, as I can tell with studio headphones on, which you can't tell right now.
We figured that out. We got it perfect now.
We had it perfectly. Jalapeno peppers. Jalapeno peppers are overrated. I think you can achieve the same goal of spice without the net effect of what comes after eating jalapeno peppers a certain amount of hours later, if you know what I mean. So jalapeno peppers got to go overrated.
Okay, then overrated or underrated, John Wayne.
John Wayne is properly rated. When you are known across generations and you have a legacy like he has, it's just you are what you are. I mean, he is synonymous with Westerns. He is the Duke. He is John Wayne. I mean, he is properly rated.
Overrated or underrated, quarter zips. It's that time of year.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to tell you, quarter zips still, I think, are underrated. They're gaining in popularity, but I would prefer a quarter zip to a jacket, in particular because I think a quarter zip is multifunctional. If you want to give yourself a little more breathing room, you can, or you can go all the way up, but you don't have to have the full pullover of a jacket that has to zip the full length. And what happens sometimes with the jacket whenever the train comes off the track? Well, then you don't have the option of zipping. With a quarter zip, if the train comes off the track, it really doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I think a quarter zip, very popular, gaining in popularity, and still underrated, a quarter zip.
I love them.
Yeah.
Overrated or underrated, a hurricane party.
I'm going to say hurricane parties are overrated. Went to a hurricane party in college, had a good time. You know, what you do. With the benefit of hindsight, it's not safe. You don't need to gather together in the midst of a storm. Be smart. Do reasonable, sensible things. Now, if it's a situation where you think the hurricane's coming, so in advance of that, everybody gets the day off of school and or work or whatever, and then you have a wonderful day like a few years ago with Hurricane Barry, when like it was just a beautiful sunny day and nothing happened at all, and you want to have a party, that's perfectly acceptable, and I endorse that fully. But other than that, a hurricane party, I got to be the fuddy-duddy and say overrated. It's just dangerous and really not worth it.
Overrated or underrated, brisket.
I'm sorry?
Brisket.
Oh, brisket. Yeah, brisket is underrated. When people get barbecue, it feels like they seldom talk about barbecue brisket. What do people talk about mostly when they talk about barbecue? Hey, we're going to barbecue some
ribs.
Ribs are very good. Ribs are also very messy. You know, when you're going to pick up a rib and eat it, because I don't think many people are going to eat ribs with a fork and a knife. You're going to pick it up and it's going to be messy. It tastes wonderful. I love ribs. I endorse ribs. I had ribs for lunch, so I'm doing this. I love ribs. You barbecue hamburgers. You barbecue. There's pulled pork, certainly. A brisket feels like the beef that is sort of, I don't want to say ignored, because brisket's very popular among people who barbecue. It's just not necessarily people's number one choice. And I think it's a wonderful, delectable treat, a filling meal. I love beef. I love red meat. And I think that being able to eat brisket with utensils actually elevates its status, or should elevate its status among barbecued items. So brisket, I'm going to say, is underrated.
That's overrated or underrated.
This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. Again, 2 locations. If you're in Baton Rouge or in Lafayette, the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help you look and feel like your younger self. So check them out at theantiagingclinics.com. If it's laser hair removal for unsightly body hair, if it's laser tattoo removal, their laser technicians are amazing. They even have laser technology that can remove those red and brown spots that you sometimes get like in your chest or your arms or your face. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help you look and feel like your younger self. Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. All right, it is After Further Review. Muse will have Tigers in the pros when we wrap up hour number 2. A lot of LSU Auburn talk coming up in hour number 3, and we're glad to have you aboard with us here. And we will circle back to the Saints Vikings full injury report and talk about the lengthy Saints injury report and how that may affect the team coming up on Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Glad you're with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
As we mentioned, our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson just south of campus, Blue Bonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana, 8 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Old habits die hard sometimes. Ice cold draft beer, full service bar, sports on TV, and every Wednesday is trivia night. So you get by either location, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Either location, live action trivia. Test your knowledge, get your team together. You can win Pluckers gift cards, you can win Amazon gift cards, you can win other prizes from great retailers around Baton Rouge. And remember, every team, regardless of whether or not you win a round, you get to spin the prize wheel. So every team is going to win something, even if you don't win a round of trivia at Pluckers when you get by. Every single Wednesday, both locations, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Every Wednesday is trivia night at Pluckers. It's a great place to go by, watch all your football Saturday or your NFL Sundays with Sunday Ticket. It's Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Come on over to Corval Toyota and meet with a sales specialist to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you aboard with us here. I mean, still a lot to get to. I've always said that the LSU Auburn series is my favorite of all the ones LSU plays. I'm going to tell you why. And it's not just because of the long list of weird games. But I was thinking about it today, and I want to tell you why. And we'll get to that right after SportsCenter. Right now, though, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, so Wednesday obviously means injury reports all across the NFL. Get you caught up on a few Tigers that have found, a few former Tigers, I should say, that have found their landing place there. Start out in Arizona. Rashard Lawrence did not practice today for the Cardinals. He's got a hand. See how that progresses throughout the rest of the week.
Actually, I heard he has 2 of them.
He does, but one of them's injured. Yeah,
Got
one
it.
of them.
Got it.
One of them
That's
is
an injured hand.
Yes, an injured hand.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals play tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football, of course. So this is a little bit more telling. Offensive tackle Lyle Collins did not practice again. This is with a back. Would not expect to see Lyle Collins out there, if you want to call it protecting Joe Burrow. They don't do a lot of that.
Well, in fairness, the first 2 opponents they played have really good pass rushes, and I think this is should be a more manageable test for them. Let's see.
I sure hope so.
As do I.
Couple former Tigers on the Patriots injury report. Defensive lineman Devon Godshaw, also with a back, was limited in practice today. Cornerback Jalen Mills with a hamstring, limited in practice today. And then finally for the New York Football Giants, defensive back rookie Cordell Flott did not practice today with a calf. Told you about Flott's pretty solid Monday night game he had yesterday. You look, you had something.
I just feel like you're doing it on purpose now.
What?
With a hamstring, with a calf, with a toe.
That's their injury,
He's
Matt.
got a hand. I just feel like you're doing it on purpose now.
I'm just giving you what their injury is. I don't know what you're talking about. On to Major League Baseball. Jake Fraley last night for the Cincinnati Reds. They lost to the Pirates, but Jake went 1 for 4. Huh?
I'm watching you.
Okay. Went 1 for 4 on the night. It was a single. Did swipe a bag in the game as well. His 4th stolen base of the season again. The Pirates got the better of the Reds last night. The Detroit Tigers, they beat the Royals 4-3 in 10 innings. Alex Lang picks up the victory in that game.
Hey.
1 inning of relief, shutout ball. Did give up a hit through 13 pitches, 7 for strikes. 6 wins now on the year for Alex Lang, a 6-4 record. Pretty solid stuff. Alex Bregman last night for the Astros, they routed the Diamondbacks. Bregman, 2 out of 5, homer. 22nd homer of the year, to be exact. Drove in a run, scored a run. 263 for Bregman so far, man. Really heating up as the Astros veer towards the playoffs. And then finally, last night, Austin Nola for the San Diego Padres turned in a 1 for 3 outing out of the catcher spot, hitting 248. Padres beat the Dodgers. Finally, the Padres beat the Dodgers 4-3 in 10 innings. That is Tigers. I should say Nola's hit. It was a double, his 15th of the year. That's Tigers in the road.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. For Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Of course, 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate in Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana. 9 locations in all. Gentlemen, if you are thinking about popping the question and you're not really sure what you're looking for, when it comes to diamonds and engagement rings, there are shapes and styles and settings and so many different things to consider. Well, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, they have all of the answers for you. The best selection at the best price. You will always get the Lee Michaels experience. Check them out online at lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, right after the show, I'll jet over to Oliver Twist. T-Bob and I will have Scone and Tea tonight at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. If you can't be there, you can watch live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. If you're watching live on YouTube right now, we appreciate it. Do us a solid. Smash that like button. Subscribe up to the 104.5 ESPN channel. When all of our shows go live, we go live right as you're watching, or right where you're watching right now. Real quick, I got about a minute before the end of the hour. I do want to address something because I've been sort of inundated by Florida people who took a snippet of something and are making it something that's not. Yesterday, when we led the show, we talked about Florida postponing their game from Saturday to Sunday, and I basically pointed out that Florida's hypocrisy from 6 years ago, whenever they refused to budge on the game with Hurricane Matthew looming, and now with Hurricane Ian looming, they are doing exactly what they wouldn't do 6 years ago, and I called them out on it. And a lot of Florida fans are are kind of smashing me, saying that I'm being insensitive, etc. I did yesterday send sincere wishes, best wishes, condolences to everyone in Ian's path. But the reality is the two conversations are not mutually exclusive. As a sports show, we're still going to talk about sports-related things. And just as Matthew and last year Ida, now Ian, there will be future storms that are going to impact and affect schedules. And you have to be flexible, just like Florida wasn't 6 years ago, and they were willing to be this time, and hopefully they will, and others will the next time invariably this happens. But in the meantime, Godspeed to everybody in Florida and those that are in Ian's path. Hour 3, next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Eye care, eyewear, eye surgery. That's the Williamson Eye Center. They do it all. All-encompassing eye care center. So, 7 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, including their newest location in the River Parishes in Lutcher. Of course, they've got New Roads and Zachary and Denham and Ascension Parish as well. So check them out at WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. If you need your family eye exam, if you're looking to buy contacts or glasses, their optical shops are open as well. Williamson Eye Center. You can go to any of them and buy your glasses or your contacts. But if you're looking to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, you can do it. The Williamson Eye Center has a refractive procedure for you, no matter your age or refractive issue. Learn more at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Christine Lisi. Chargers star edge rusher Joey Bosa placed on IR with a designation to return because of a groin injury. He'll have surgery, is out at least 4 games. He's expected to return later this season. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa with back and ankle injuries, and receiver Jalen Waddle with a groin injury, questionable tomorrow against the Bengals. As of now, the Buccaneers are still scheduled to host the Chiefs on Sunday night. If the game needs to be moved because of Hurricane Ian, it will be relocated to Minneapolis. Meanwhile, a positive development on the field for Bucs quarterback Tom Brady. Receiver reinforcements, explains ESPN's Kimberly Martin.
Mike Evans, he gets back. Julio Jones, Todd Bowles had said that he could have played with the knee injury, but they decided to hold him out. So you anticipate he's on track to play. Now, Chris Godwin, that's the big piece, and that's the one that's most unclear right now. He's missed significant time, came back, and now he's sort of, got to get back.
Evans returning after a 1-game suspension. Godwin's got a hamstring injury. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson medically cleared from his knee injury. He will start Sunday against the Steelers. He's missed the first 3 games of the season with that injury.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We had Todd Graffagnini with us from London.
Hump day.
We had Tatum Everett with us from London.
It's hump day.
And in 15 minutes,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll talk to Russ Mitchell.
It's hump day.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him since his 4-8 prediction.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jet setting all over the world. Wonder if his opinions changed.
It's hump day.
We'll find out.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
In 15 minutes. All right, let's get rolling here. If you're just joining us, 2 really big stories today. Number 1, Brian Kelly announced that Garrett Dellinger broke his hand in the game against New Mexico. Dellinger, can you play number 4, please, Muse? Here was Kelly giving an update on Dellinger today on the SC Coaches teleconference.
He had surgery yesterday, and it appears as though it's going to be tight for him to make the game. You know, at first thought we thought we could get him ready, but there was a screw and a plate that needed to go in there. So right now, as we're talking, I would say he's doubtful for Saturday.
So looks like LSU will not have Garrett Dellinger. Miles Frazier will step in and play very likely at left guard, where he started the opener against Florida State. Certainly the gigantic question is now who's your backup center? That remains to be seen. So here's hoping Charles Turner stays healthy all week and through the game, and that does not become an issue. The other big story, Jameis Winston was not at practice today for the Saints in London. That in and of itself isn't tremendously surprising because Jameis has not practiced any of the last couple of Wednesdays. They've given him a rest day, but he was not with the team at all. He was not on the field. Now, granted, the practice field is far from the hotel. It's not like when you're at the Saints facility. But Jameis did not practice, and maybe even more significant, Andy Dalton was, in fact, taking the first-team quarterback reps, but Taysom Hill was taking the backup quarterback reps. The video you're watching, if you are watching with us right now, is courtesy of NewOrleans.football. Nick Underhill is over in London covering the Saints, and he's the one who posted this video at the NewOrleans.football Twitter account. So this is the first time that anyone media has seen Taysom Hill play quarterback at all. He did not play quarterback. I mean, he's been exclusively with the tight end. So this is the first time we've seen Taysom play quarterback, and the fact that Taysom is taking reps at quarterback tells you certainly that the Saints are preparing for the possibility. I'm not saying the likelihood or that it's going to happen, but the possibility of Jameis not playing. And if that happens, Andy Dalton would be your starter, and Taysom would, of course, be your backup or your emergency quarterback if you needed it. So we will certainly monitor. Those are the big stories right now as the Saints are getting ready for the Vikings on Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur, and the LSU is getting ready to head to Auburn for its first road conference game of the season. I was thinking about this this morning, and I have said for as long as I've been on air that I love the LSU Auburn series. It is my favorite rivalry game that LSU plays. And because LSU doesn't have a traditional rival or a geographic rival, when you ask the question, who's LSU's rival, a lot of times it's either generational. Like if you ask my grandfather, he'd probably tell you Ole Miss from watching Billy Cannon and John Vaught's teams back in the 50s and the 60s. For my dad, probably Alabama, watching the Bears teams in the 70s. It's been certainly Alabama since Nick Saban's been back there. But, man, you ask guys like Hester, who played in that era in the 2000s when LSU and Florida were flip-flopping national titles in 6, 7, and 8, and the great games they had. That was just such an intense game. Still is really intense with LSU and Florida. But for me, and this may not be everyone, and everyone my age, for me it's Auburn. And I was thinking about it today, and I think it all goes back to 1995 and bring back the magic. Here's what I mean. I have memories, like a lot of you do, of going to LSU games as a kid. Some of my earliest memories, quite honestly, we would, when we lived in New Orleans, would drive up to Baton Rouge on Saturdays, and we tailgate on the old front nine where the clubhouse was where the old front nine is. There was a clubhouse building, and we parked in that parking lot, and we tailgated there, and we'd go to games. And I don't have vivid memories of games from the 80s, but I remember being at them. Like, I remember tailgating. I can remember in 1988, the game against Miami where, in the torrential rain where LSU got blown out. I don't remember anything about the game. I remember just sitting in the rain. It was me, my dad, my brother, and our youth league football coach. Early 90s, like I can vividly remember watching Todd Kinchin catch what we thought was a game-winning Hail Mary against Vanderbilt in Nashville and get called for offensive pass interference. I watched it at Ben DePalma's house. I was at Paul Gross' house, who's now a priest, Father Paul Gross, shout out. I was at his house for 1993, the Pigs Fly game against Alabama. Like, those are when I started to remember games. 1991, Florida State. Remember watching that. LSU got up to a 10-0 lead. Todd Kinchin scored on a long run. Tigers got a turnover, kicked a field goal. We're up 10-0 early, but ultimately Florida State came back and won it. Watching LSU against Tennessee, those Heath Schuler teams in 92, 93. In 1994, was in Tiger Stadium for the Southern Miss game. And, I mean, if I could be super revealing, we grabbed food from Racetrack, which was the drive-through, fast food, if you remember. No, not Racetrack. Fast Track is what it was called. Fast Track drive-through is all we do. Beep, beep. Anyway. And boy, Fast Track did not sit well with your boy that night, if you know what I mean. And Tiger Stadium is the wrong place to have that issue where you have to keep running to the bathroom. And I guess the benefit of that was that I didn't have to watch a ton of LSU against Southern Miss that night with the Golden Eagles beating LSU in Tiger Stadium in 1994. I guess my point is LSU stunk. I never saw my team. I never saw them be good. I remember going to Tiger Stadium to watch the Auburn game in '93, and they played Texas A&M in '94. We had some neighbors who were A&M fans who moved back to Texas. They came in for that game. We went in '94, and LSU got run. It was just, I never got to see my favorite team be good. In the 1990, I remember the interception game. You know, my parents were in North Carolina for a work conference for my dad, and I was watching the game. I guess my aunt was staying with us or something like that. And I remember my dad called kind of to check on us, and I was like, Dad, we're going to win. We're going to win. I was so excited. And then we know what happened, 5 interceptions in the fourth quarter, 3 returned for touchdowns. I never got to see my team be good. And then 1995 came, and they lost the opener to Texas A&M, and they played really hard. It was a game at Kyle Field. You know, and then Auburn came on the schedule, and Auburn was ranked in the top 10, and it was a team that really, you know, was a problem because they were better. And LSU won that game 12-6. I watched the first half in New Orleans at my grandparents' house. At halftime, we left and drove back to Baton Rouge. We listened to some of it on the second half on the radio, and then got home and watched the rest of it. Saw Troy Twillie's interception in the end zone to seal it for LSU in the 12-6 win. It was the first time to bring back the Magic game. It was the first time I can ever remember thinking the team that I love is good. And from there, every year, and when it's that impressionable when you're young, the Auburn game never disappointed. You know, 96 was the barn burner, Rayon Hill with the pick 6 on the 2-point conversion, or the pick 2 on the 2-point conversion. LSU won 19-15. You know, 1997 was devastating when Damian Craig led the comeback in the fourth quarter for Auburn, ruined Cecil Collins' record-setting night. You know, 1998 was the last time LSU had a big win at Auburn. 31-19. LSU won at Jordan Hare that day. You know, Terry Bowden was on his way out. 99 was the cigar game. In 2000, LSU got doubled up at Jordan Hare in Nick's first year, 34-17. 01, a de facto SEC West championship game. You know, when Damon Duval was fighting with band members, game that got moved because of the 9/11 attacks. It was at Jordan Hare in 2002 in a slow drizzle when Auburn really put it to LSU. You know, 03 was the championship season where LSU dominated that game. 04 was the leverage penalty with Ronnie Prude. 05 was John Vaughn missing 5 field goals in Tiger Stadium, an overtime win for LSU. 06 was the Phantom PI. 07 was Flynn DeBird. 08 was at Jordan Hare for Jarrett Lee to Brandon LaFell, the comeback win. It has kept on. You know, 2012 was, LSU was number 2 in the country, and that was the worst Auburn team ever. Like, literally, they were 0-8 in the SEC. That's when Chizik got fired. I mean, Auburn led that game 10-9 at halftime. LSU won 12-10. The only scoring in the second half was a field goal for an awful Auburn team. You know what I mean? 2013 in the rain, Jeremy Hill was massive in the first half, and then in the second, that was Auburn's only loss of the season. You know, if you remember, that's when Auburn in the second half of that game, with Nick Marshall and Trey Mason, kind of found themselves offensively a little bit, and they got on a roll with that rushing offense, went all the way to the national championship game. You know, I guess I love this series because it's always delivered, with very rare exceptions. I mean, like 2011 in Baton Rouge, Auburn was not very good, and LSU was very good and blew them out. But those have been the rare exceptions, not the rule. The rule has been that this game delivers. And it's always meant a ton to me because as a kid, this was the first time I ever saw my favorite team be good. And when I, like in the years that I grew up here, like LSU and the Saints stunk. I mean, you just didn't have a lot to be really excited about. It was why people were so attracted to, LSU basketball with Shaq and those guys, and Skip winning baseball titles, because it was nice to cheer for a winner. So I love this week, man. I love LSU Auburn. I love this game. I love the rivalry. I love when the two colors are on the field, the purple and gold and the orange and the blue. I love it, man. This is my favorite week of the year, and I'm really hopeful that LSU can go pull one out, because, man, if you lose to this Auburn team, which is not very good, it would be fitting for this series. But, man, what a statement for Brian Kelly in the progression of this program, with just the progress they've made in 4 short weeks. If they're able to go to Jordan Hare and really put their foot on Auburn's throat and show how much better of a team LSU is right now, even as they're transitioning on building. It would certainly be an illustration of two programs going in very different directions. But I'll say it again, man. I know Auburn's not very good. I know LSU is a 9-point favorite, maybe 8.5, depending on, where you spend your money. But watch this game too many times for too many years to think it's going to be easy to go to Jordan-Hare and just walk all over them and win it. So hopefully LSU is focused and ready to roll come Saturday night in Jordan-Hare Stadium. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. I'm excited about this. It has been a month, but we will be joined by Russ Mitchell next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. You know where to find them. lainsurance.net. You can go to the website, better coverage for less money, 293-0450. I got a tweet yesterday, and oftentimes I do get tweets from people who will say tweets or texts, and that's fine. You can always tweet me or text me and ask the question. But someone asked, hey, what's the insurance company that you always talk about? Here it was. It was David Billio who said, here's the tweet right here. Said, good evening, Matt. Could you point me in the direction of the LA insurance deal that you advertised? Can't remember the details. I figured I'd drop a tweet instead of trying to scrub through a show, trying to get coverage for a new truck for a good price. In fact, Insurance Network of Louisiana. So call 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. They will shop independently to find you better coverage for less money. It is that easy. Call them right now, 293-0450, or online at lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
All right, it has been a solid month, and every Wednesday about this time I get volumes of texts and tweets. Hey man, where's Russ? Russ Mitchell coming back? So it is my pleasure to welcome back 4-8 Russ Mitchell. How are you, fraud?
Kicking the tires, lighting the fires, baby.
All right, so when last we spoke, before the Florida State game, you had LSU going 4-8, losing to Florida State, winning their next three, being 3-1, going into Auburn, which they are. You've nailed it. Do you feel better about LSU today than you did then?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Progress. I like it.
In part because I feel much worse about Auburn.
Fair. Touche.
And I feel worse about A&M. But, I mean, look, LSU's done well, man. Their rushing offense and their passing offense are both fifth best in the conference. I don't think anybody, other than the really diehard folks, thought that with the offensive line and the position it was in, and with the quarterback position uncertain, we're expecting that sort of performance. And then from a mistake penalty, LSU's second best in the conference in turnovers and fifth best in penalties.
Yeah.
So, what you kind of expect from a Brian Kelly coach team, right?
They've had some costly penalties, but Jaden Daniels' ability to protect the football has been awesome. He's yet to throw an interception. I think I saw Hunt Palmer tweet this early in the week. There are only 6 quarterbacks. There are only 6 quarterbacks in college football with 100 or more attempts that have not thrown an interception, and Jaden Daniels is one of them.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely been a key to. You watch that State game. Boy, the State game was 3/4 of ugly.
Yeah.
Other than the defense, I think, I was hoping that the defense would be good. The performance against State, particularly on 3rd and 4th downs, I think they probably had less than half a dozen conversions on 3rd and 4th downs. So really impressed with the performance of the defense, in some of those clutch plays.
So what are you expecting Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium?
I mean, Auburn's offense is so bad, man.
No, they're so bad.
By the way, you know who's got a worse offense than Auburn?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. I mean,
are you surprised?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised with both. I mean, I wasn't expecting either of them to be. Auburn's, 12th? A&M's either 13th or 14th. They're at the very bottom. I mean, Auburn's 12th in total offense, bottom half of the conference in total defense, dead last in turnover margin, like close to the bottom in sacks allowed. Speaking of which, who's worse in sacks allowed than Auburn?
LSU, but barely.
Yeah,
I think that
there's not much more room than 13.
I think the difference is 1 sack. It's like 12 and 13 or something like that. But I think some of that though, Russ, is reflective of the offense LSU's running. If Jaden Daniels is running and extending a play and he's tackled behind the line, it goes down as a sack.
Yes, I agree. But, if you're being objective about watching LSU's offense so far, that kid Daniels is there's not a lot of time in the pocket to be looking around figuring out where Booty is. I mean, it's pretty much run for your life back there right now.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I think that's clearly the weak link for this LSU team right now, which was expected going in, and it is what everybody thought. And the problem, if you're looking at the LSU schedule, is Tennessee, who's playing really well. You got at Florida, who's struggling a little bit. But, the back half, this is a back half of the season loaded schedule with Tennessee, Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, and A&M. So can the offensive line improve? I mean, by the time they improve, that's when Murderer's Row comes up.
So do you still have them 4-8?
No. That's a little bit for effect there, but I think that going 500 in conference play would be a big win. Again, what did you think about the first 3 quarters of that Florida State game? Of that Mississippi State game.
I thought the defense was awesome.
Yeah, so did I.
The defense was awesome for 4 quarters. They kept them in the game, and the offense finally hit their stride. So I think that's certainly the big question right now is how much consistent. Like, I'm not doing backflips over wins over Southern State and New Mexico, but it's also, I think, objectively clear that they are a better team today than they were against Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State, by the way, continues to do well. So that speaks, I think, very nicely to Louisiana State. But, right after Auburn's, putrid offense comes Tennessee.
Yeah.
And, they're the surprise in the season, at least in terms of offense. I mean, they're clicking very, very nicely. 26 touchdowns on the season, leading the conference. Leading the conference in points, too, with nearly 50 points a game. So, your defense is going to play well, but your offense is going to have to score at least 31.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I think Tennessee's problem is they can't get stops either. So can you get, I don't know, if Tennessee has 12 possessions, can you get 6 stops? And make a couple
right
of
now,
field goals?
I have much more faith in the Tigers' defense than I do the Tigers' offense.
I agree.
Although, again, you point out the fact that LSU's offense against Mississippi State and Florida State is ranked 5th in the conference.
So are you all right? LSU or Auburn? Who are you picking?
Oh, LSU.
Okay.
I'd be given how poorly this Auburn offense is right now and how the morale is out on the plains. I mean, I saw somebody tweeted today that for $60 you can stand on the sidelines with the coach and call 2 plays. Morale is a wee bit under the Mendoza line out there on the plains.
That's all money going into the kitty to pay for Brian Harson's buyout, which they'll have to do sooner than later. Russ Mitchell is with us on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. So he's got LSU beating Auburn. That's one change from what you had earlier in the year. 3 other big games in the conference this weekend. What do you think about Kentucky at Ole Miss? Couple of undefeated teams. Kentucky's in the top 10. Ole Miss hasn't been challenged. They will be Saturday morning. What do you think?
It's interesting to see that game at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Clearly the passive fan probably has no idea that Kentucky, the guy who's going to turn on is going to do chores during the day and turn on the TV in the evening. Is going to see the Auburn helmet and have no idea that Auburn, can't walk and chew gum at the same time, and Kentucky's ranked in the top 10. I'm not sold on Kentucky though. Again, I've watched every one of their games this year, and their offense it's okay, but it's not that good. It's in the bottom half. I think 10th or 11th in the conference, and it's a matter of matchups and keeping up with Ole Miss. Can they keep up with Ole Miss? And the way that offense is ticking right now, and I don't think so. So I like Ole Miss.
Okay, I'm going to be fascinated to see how that one goes. Russ, I said, look, if Ole Miss, given the way their schedule sets up, if Ole Miss gets past Kentucky, they will be 7-0 when they play LSU.
Yeah.
In Baton Rouge. I mean, it is like their schedule is that favorable.
And they play well in Baton Rouge. So, that's right now. Ole Miss is the better team, playing better than LSU. And if I'm picking right now, I like Ole Miss. I put the cover at about 10.
What about the Arkan frauds at home against Bama?
What is wrong with you with Arkansas, man? What do you have against Arkansas?
I don't have anything against Arkansas. I have something against people trying to sell me Arkansas for 2 consecutive years now as a top 10 team, which they are not.
Well, they're not a top 10
Well, that's
team.
my point. So they're frauds. So I only started calling them the Arkan frauds when people ranked them in the top 10. I don't have a vote. I'm not ranking them in the top 10. I have a problem with the friggin' people that are ranking them in the top 10.
I don't think the Arkansas people are ranking themselves in the top 10.
Oh, the Arkansas people are all about going into last. Why are we being disrespected? Blah. Everyone hates Arkansas. No one cares about Arkansas.
I got to say that loss to A&M was embarrassing. And I think, it'll be fascinating to watch them. It's a shame that the next game of the season is Alabama because, how do they bounce back? If they hold the ball and don't fumble it going into the end zone right there, they maybe, given the way A&M's offense is going, maybe they blow away A&M, and a totally different. So how do they bounce back? Unfortunately, they have Alabama. You'll remember this game from last year. It was a shootout, and Jefferson hit some big shots. This game's at home.
Yes.
So, to me, Alabama's Alabama, and they look really good, but I don't know. Just because you can do really well throwing the ball against Vandy, does Alabama have a wide receiver this year? And I don't know. I'm not sold on Ja'Cory Brooks. I don't think, again, stepping up against Vanderbilt doesn't mean much to me. So if they've played one team, Texas, who's not very good, and they barely won that game on the road. Now they have to go in conference against a team that always has less talent than Alabama, but still seems to, buck up and try to play the Tide tough. And they're playing at home, and they're going to be bitter about their loss to – I expect this to be a good game. And if they can't throw the ball, if they don't come out throwing the ball to Brooks the way they did against Vanderbilt, I don't know. Keep an eye on Arkansas.
Well, Arkansas may have some solace in Texas A&M now going on the road to Mississippi State. Just when the Aggies went back to –
By the way, that's the CBS game, right? Arkansas versus Alabama.
Yes, and then SEC Network at 3 p.m. has Texas A&M at Mississippi State, where Mississippi State is about a field goal favorite in that ballgame.
Yeah, again, doesn't surprise me at all. State's. I was a little bit surprised with how State fell apart in the fourth quarter against y'all. They're playing fairly good football. I like where the Mad Pirate is taking that program right now. LSU owns State. It's just ridiculous. So it's like, in the last 50 times you guys have won 62. And, so I don't know, maybe that was part of it, but I expect State to be the struggling A&M program. A&M, A&M is A&M and Auburn, I think, are the big surprises this year.
He is Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. When's the next international flight? And can I go?
The next international flight is Tokyo.
Okay.
But we won't be doing that till January. We're going to wait till the season is over. No more weddings. No more weddings. It's just this whole thing about, I don't know. The funny thing is you always say, if any of my buddies get married in September, I'm going to tell them to screw off and I'm not going.
Yeah.
And then your brother gets married in September and you're like,
October. My brother got married in October.
Like what can you say ass on the air?
Yes, you just can't. You can't
what
add
an ass.
You can't add the hole at the end.
Yeah, no, what an ass. You put your brother in a position where they're like, damn. Whatever.
Fraud.
Good to be home, brother.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to chat again. Hopefully we do it next week.
Yeah, next week.
All right, we'll see. That is Russ Mitchell. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell, CFB. AFR is brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. We had one of our crews in a neighborhood doing a roof yesterday, and another roofing company pulled up a truck in front of the neighborhood, and someone walking door to door. Not us, man. I don't like when someone comes to my house unsolicited and or uninvited and is knocking on my door, and I'm guessing many of you don't either, which is why HUDCO's never going to door knock. And I would encourage you, if you do have door knockers in your neighborhood, don't answer the door. Call a local company that's been locally owned and operated for more than 20 years. That's HUDCO Roofing, Louisiana-based, run by Louisiana people, operated out of offices in Shreveport, Bossier, and in Baton Rouge. And we use Louisiana products, the CertainTeed shingles from their Shreveport, Louisiana plant. We're HUDCO Roofing. We are Louisiana. That's why we say do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. It is a good time to remind you, of course, that with Hurricane Ian, unfortunately, it's a reminder that if you experienced Ida a year ago and never had your roof inspected, it's not too late. You have 2 years from the date of a storm to have a roof inspection, and to file a claim. So we'd love to help you out. Just give us a shout at HUDCO Roofing. Go to the website, HUDCOroofing.com. Right there on the homepage, get your free inspection. It'll take you 30 seconds to fill out the form. We'll be in touch with you to schedule. HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. Come back. Little Pluckers trivia. Otter locks coming up as well. A lot to do. Stay here, AFR.
AFR.
Come on over to Corval Toyota in Opelousas and meet with one of our sales specialists to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Kids!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
after further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we will get to Otter Locks here in less than 10 minutes. But it is Wednesday, which means it is trivia night at Pluckers. You know what that means. Hit the music there, Muse. Time to test your knowledge. Great news. Next week is cartoon trivia.
I like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I could do pretty well at that.
Okay. I like the confidence. Remember, I was confident in the Disney trivia.
I mean, you nailed the Disney. I got to give it to you. You nailed the Disney trivia. That was impressive. Yeah. Impressive body of knowledge.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, 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 boom.
I think I can do pretty well at the cartoon trivia.
I know what I know, Muse. More importantly, I know what I don't know, which is why I never talk about things I don't know.
Hey, smart.
All right, here we go. So today, general trivia. Either look 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Get your team together. Go play trivia. Muse.
Let me have it.
From a Latin word meaning caught in the act, what type of public declaration is associated with both Karl Marx and the Unabomber?
Oh, God. What was the... Karl Marx. Well, I don't have a lot of time, so
You want to ask a friend? Paulie, do you know it? Nope, Paulie doesn't know it.
The question sounds familiar. I have a feeling I have heard of this, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, I absolutely haven't. I can't pull it out of my friggin' brain right now.
All right.
And as soon as you say it, I'm going to be very mad.
The answer we are looking for is manifesto.
Yes!
Yes, as in the communist
manifesto.
Yes, that's what we were looking for. I don't think they're going to get much easier for you here, Muse. What was the final score of the Auburn-LSU game 6 years ago this week, which came to be Les Miles' last as the head coach before being fired on the Monday after?
The Danny Etling game. Was that 20-13?
Exit.
Oh,
yeah, give me the buzzer. Come on.
I had the fader down.
You're so close.
I couldn't.
So Auburn won 18-13. LSU's touchdown would have made it 20-18. So you were close. You were tap dancing around.
I didn't think they were down a field goal. It's like they're going for the touchdown.
You were tap dancing around it.
Yeah.
You were tap dancing around it.
That's close.
All right. Lastly here, Muse. What two marsupials are Looney Tunes characters?
Oh, man, you read that like that was about to be multiple choice.
No.
Okay. Oh, man. Looney Tunes. Those are great. Marsupials. See, let's go Bugs Bunny.
A rabbit is not a marsupial.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of a rat. I mean,
Paul, you want to help him?
Paul, what you got?
I got nothing.
Yeah.
One of them is very easy. I'm surprised.
I'm trying to
this
think.
Just...
Marsupial. I don't know.
Well, you've got the Tasmanian devil.
Okay. Was that your easy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tasmanian devil?
I guess. I don't know. I've never just really looked at it and been like, man, it's a marsupial.
And the other is Hippity Hopper, the kangaroo, which I don't know Hippity Hopper.
Who is that? Yeah, that's not a real limit.
I mean, I know there's kangaroos in cartoons I've seen, but I didn't know that one. So Muse, wow, just
next week, cartoon trivia.
Wearing the collar.
I think we're gonna go with that one.
Not so great at trivia, Muse. Maybe try your hand at sports betting, and you could download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. How about that transition there, Muse? Little hashtag professional radio guy. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Remember, bet just $5 on any football game. If your team wins, they'll give you $200 in free bets. It's that easy. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet just $5 on any football game. If it hits, they'll give you $200 in free bets. Like, pick Alabama against whoever. Or, they're playing Arkansas this week, which, they're going to win. But pick the most lopsided one-sided game you want. Bet just $5 on the money line. If you hit, They'll give, like you could have done last week for LSU New Mexico. They'll give you $200 free bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. All right, it is after further review. We will knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back to a little Otter Locks. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Go to Rouse's.com if you need to find the location nearest you, but quite honestly, you've probably driven by a bajillion Rouse's because they're everywhere. And the newest is coming in North Baton Rouge on Florida Boulevard at Ardenwood. They had the groundbreaking ceremony there last week. It was great pleasure to be out there for that. Hey, look, right now you can go to the website or download the app. Rouse's has delivery and pickup options. I tell you about it every day, but it's so easy. Download the Rouse's app or go to Rouse's.com. Select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick them out for you. When you pull up to bring it out to the car, saves you time and money. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, you're heading to the house tonight. You need dinner plans for the whole family. It's easy. They got hot lunch and dinner options every single day at Rouse's, and everything you'd want at your grocery store. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è. Oh, oh, oh.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. Remember, if you missed anything on the show, you always catch AFR on demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Not a bad night for the Otter last night. He lost with the Orioles, won with the Padres, won with the Rangers. His parlay didn't hit, and I realized he gave us the Braves on the run line, and I actually bet the Braves on the run line for tonight instead of last night, so I screwed that up. Paulie, did the Braves win by more than one last night? You're not a real Braves fan, whatever.
Yes, they did.
Okay, so that hit. So the Otter had himself a win tonight last night. I hope the Braves win on the run line tonight because I totally screwed that up. All right, Jimmy out follows us. The Otter joins us right now. Otter, how are you? Otter, how are you?
Good, man. How about you?
Doing well. A winning night last night. You probably just missed it, though. I screwed up. I actually accidentally bet the Braves tonight instead of last night. So, hey, shut up.
Help you there.
That's what I get for trying to do this as you're talking. Like, you always get them like, when I say I would speak slower, go through it. But that's why I'm multitasking here.
I know. I understand. Let's get those out the way because I want to tell you about a little feature we got tonight you might find interesting.
Okay.
We do have kind of busy night in MLB. Last night, 3-2, but plus 1.7 with that plus $1.70 dog. The Texas won 5-0 last night. All right, Atlanta minus 1.5, minus 127. That's what I betted earlier today. I had checked.
I've already got it locked in.
Okay. All right. I've been buying shower curtains and towels for EJ. All right, so there we go. Brewers Met parlay. Tell me what that's paying you right now. I was looking at minus like plus 125, something like that. Brewers money line, Mets money line. Mets to bounce back. The team that needed to win had a losing night last night, so you lay in juice too. So,
the two-pick parlay, I'm looking at plus 137.
Okay, very good. Very good, plus 137. Baltimore gave up a ton of runs, but hit a really good pitcher last night. They'll hit him again. Number one ROI pitcher in the league in Major League Baseball, Kramer, going for Baltimore tonight. They're hitting the ball. They're still playing hard. Incoming back plus money. Again, the gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, Musso. Rich.
We're already dead, Otter. Quit kicking me while I'm down.
That's okay. I'm going to stomp on your face when you're down, all right?
As long as it's cash and tickets.
All right, Philadelphia Cubs under. Last night the total was 6.5. It's 6.5 again. The wind is blowing in. Aaron Nola, come on, Cali. Let's go, boy. And look, they got to tighten up, man. They are just have a 1.5 game lead in the wild card over Milwaukee, who we have. And then Texas again. Seattle, check this out. The last three series, they lost a series to Kansas City. They lost a series to Oakland. They lost a series to the Angels, and they dropped the first of three to Texas. Not exactly murderers. Rodriguez, who may be American League Rookie of the Year, out of the lineup. I mean, it's a big deal. They can't afford it. We're going with Texas plus money again.
All right. So we have got Atlanta on the run line, a Milwaukee Mets parlay, the Baltimore Orioles, Phillies Cubs under, and the Texas Rangers on the money line. Those are your Otter locks. A 5-pack tonight. All right, Otter, less than a minute. Fire away.
All right, so we got Andy Esco, Wes Reynolds, and Randy McKay with their picks. But at 6:45, I call it the 80% crew on Wednesday. And I'll look at all of the college teams that are getting 80% of the tickets so far at Bet Rivers. Last week, and I like to go against them. Last week, it was 17 of them, only one underdog last week, and that was ULM. This week, there are actually 4 underdogs over 80%, 3 of them from the SEC.
Okay. All right, so 6:45, the 80% crew. Make sure you're locked into that in about 50 minutes from right now. Thank you, Otter.
Thank you, Matt. We're at Finbomb tonight.
Finbomb. Game Time with Jimmy Out follows us there. Finbomb right there. Perkins or Bluebonnet and Lee. All right. Have a great night, Muse Paulie. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, let me remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Airline just north of Highland and online at southpointvw.com. If you want to buy a new or a certified pre-owned vehicle, you can do it at South Point Volkswagen. You can lease, of course, which is a great option. If they don't have what you're looking for, they'll find it. They'll get it for you at South Point Volkswagen. Look, the website's super easy. When you go to the website, you can even work out your financing online. You can search the entire inventory online, new and certified pre-owned. Whether you're looking for the Atlas Cross Sport, the Tiguan, or the Taos, which is the new compact SUV that they have to offer, the Jetta or the Passat, you just can't go wrong with the Volkswagen line. 9 different IIHS top safety picks, and they're all available at South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, it's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital.